of falling. That is called a working at height. So when we look at the legislation, it doesn't give us the exact height considered as working at height, but it says any height that is elevated to a position of posing a falling threat is considered as working at height. So to some people, even just climbing on top of this table is considered working at height, because if a person fall, they can otherwise be amputated, getting sprains and strains. So now, what does the legislation say in terms of working at height? It requires us to safeguard those people who are working at height by means of providing training. Are you getting it? So that is why your company has sent you for training. So the reason why they do that is for us to train you on the safety precautions that has to be adhered to. So, and legislation gives us procedures, give us guidelines on how can we make sure that everyone who's working at height is safe. So, in most cases, we are going to look at what we call a fall protection plan. So, a fall protection plan is a plan required by construction regulation of 2014 to say when working at height is being performed, there must be a fall protection plan. So I think when we are talking about protection, you understand what it means. We are talking about how can we protect people from falling hazards. So, but we make it as a plan. I think you know what a plan is. If we are saying now we are going to build a house, the first thing that they want is a plan, isn't it? So the plan will show you how that house will be built. So the fall protection plan will also guide us on what is needed before a person is allowed to work at height. So number one, the fall protection plan need a working at height risk assessment. So working at height risk assessment will be split into two, because the baseline is done by the safety officers. So you guys, you do the site specific. As I have said, that sites they differ, isn't it? Sites they differ. Some sites they are wet, they have soft grounds. Some sites they have concreted surfaces. Some sites they've got paved surfaces. Some sites have got what? Surfaces which are carpeted. So we have different areas in which this working at height can be done. So if I can just ask you by just your conscience, if you look at it logically, let's say, for example, we take a ladder, we put on a soft ground, and we take a ladder, we put in a concreted surface. Which is more safe? Which is more safe? The one on the soft ground and the one on a concreted surface? Are you getting it? Because it's logic. So that is why we say that now the risk assessment differs from site to site. So the same way we install a ladder can differ from one site to site, depends on the site conditions. The same way we install a lifeline differs from site to site because of conditions. Some lifelines will be placed in-house like this one. Some lifelines, they need to be placed on top of a roof where there is exposed to where environmental conditions, isn't it? Rain and whatever, wind and many other like heat, exhaustive heat and all those things. So conditions also differs from one point to another. So it's a site specific. So we cannot work at height without a risk assessment, which is site specific and continuously when carrying out the job. Number two is training. You must be trained in order for you to work at height. So training basically will be looking at, we are training you on how do you identify hazards. I will elaborate in terms of identification of hazards. I will train you on how to wear certain equipments like your safety harnesses, your hard hats, your gloves, and how to anchor your lanyards to the anchor points, different anchor points from vertical anchor points, horizontal anchor points, How do you anchor your self-identified anchor points to your engineered anchor points? So it's a training that will give you. So this training is there to assist you that all the time when you are going to work at height, you must follow the procedures of what we are going to train you on. Then after training, we'll look at medical certificate. Because you guys, you might have epilepsy. Just imagine taking a person to 6 meters high who has epileptic seizure, and that person is an uncontrolled epilepsy. What will happen? It will attack him while he's on top. Uncontrolled movement. We are risking that person. So we need people who are physically and mentally fit to work at height so that they don't have underlying conditions which can give them a more risk or them to become more vulnerable while they are busy working at height. So that is why a medical certificate will be a requirement. Then after a medical certificate, we look at equipment management register. All the equipment that we're going to use at heights, your ladders, your scaffolding equipment, your mobile elevating work platforms, different types, cherry pickers and scissor lift, your work assist vehicles, your order pickers, whether you are going to use cat ladders. So whatever equipment that you're going to use to access has to be in a register. One by one has to be inspected for compliance, standardization, and fit for work and suitability. Is it suitable to use this equipment for a specific job? Then if it is suitable, how can it be used? So you cannot just imagine that I have a certificate, so I know how to use a ladder if you were not trained on it. I know how to erect a scaffolding to go to access at height when you were not trained. So we have to look at, do we have a trained person to erect the scaffold? If it is erected, do we have an inspector to inspect it for fit to use? So all those things are included in the fall protection plan. Then fall protection plan will also look at rescue procedures. Then after fall protection plan, we will now look at the fall arrest systems, making up of A, B, C, D, R. Your anchorage point, your body harnesses, your deceleration distance, your connectors, and your rescue procedures. Because if a person fails,